What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forge for Greatness. I'm your host, Chris LaForgia. This podcast is for the builders, the creators, and the underdogs who are forging their own path. It's not just about the wins, it's about the pressure. That's my first time fucking up. My mind just went blank. Doing this back to back is tough, though. I'll tell you that.
Just scream for a second, or like.
Ah!
Yes.
Wow, you got it. You got it out. I love that.
You need that.
This might actually make the final edit. I don't give a shit. We're not perfect. I mean,
Supportive ass group right here, man.
Okay. This podcast is not just about the wins, it's about the pressure, the mistakes we all make along the way, and the moments that actually forge us. I'm your host, Chris LaForgia, and today I am joined by Chris Spadone from Lakeborn Coffee in Denville, New Jersey. Chris, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming on. So we're going to dive into the business. It's a fairly new business, correct?
It is, yeah.
How old?
About 3 years.
3 years, okay. We're going to dive into that in a little bit. But how you feeling today, man?
Feel great.
Yeah?
Good Saturday. Spring weather's about to come around.
Yeah. 70 degrees next week, I heard.
Coming, yeah.
Love it. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Cedar Lake in Denville.
Okay. So right in Denville.
Right in Denville.
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Still living there to this day?
Yeah, so I moved back there. So I grew up there. I was there for about 26 years. And then I moved all over the country for about 10.
Okay.
And then I moved back and bought a house in Cedar Lake where I grew up.
Nice. Where all over the country? I'm just curious.
Been in Philadelphia, Connecticut, Fort Lauderdale, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, Denver, Colorado, Richmond, Virginia, and then back to New Jersey.
Now, this is for business?
This is for work, yeah.
Okay. All right. What were you doing before Lakeborn?
So I still do it as well. I work in multifamily technology. I do internet networks and apartment buildings.
Gotcha.
I work for a startup in Salt Lake City.
Nice. So this is your side hustle?
Side hustle.
That's becoming something
one day
entirely different.
Turns out I'm pretty expensive to hire, so I'm not ready to go full time yet.
Got it. So going back to your childhood, what was the environment like in Denville growing up in that town?
Yeah, everybody is, very community oriented, lakes everywhere. I think there's 7 or 8 lakes in Denville, but immediate groups everywhere, hanging out, playing with my friends, lots of sports outside all the time, sun up to sundown.
What sports?
Playing hockey, definitely on the lake, roller hockey. Then we skateboarded and did stuff like that, but we play football, we play soccer, we do literally everything.
Yeah. And you're a Napoli fan, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe get into that later. So it was a supportive environment, like family life, like your parents were supportive.
Yeah, it was
everything.
It was really good. Just everybody was really tight knit. I got a lot of love from my friends' parents, right? And my friends in general became my family.
Okay.
See each other every day and hard to separate.
Love it. What was your first taste of success at an early age?
I'll reframe that. Maybe not my first, but my proudest moment of success. Like I mentioned, friends and I grew up playing sports, playing hockey specifically. So in high school, I played for the high school hockey team and we won the state championship.
Love it.
So really proud of that moment with all my friends and me.
What position? I don't know positions in hockey, but
Defense.
Just curious. Okay.
Defense.
There's no terminology for this person on defense, this person on defense.
I usually played on the right side.
Okay.
I was the guy in front of the net who really wouldn't let you stand in front of my net, kind of a deal.
Got it.
So it was one of those real defensive positions. Yeah.
Do you miss checking people into the boards?
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do.
So, mistakes early on in your childhood that you can recall that you learned from as well.
I think broadly, letting other people give, chart my direction, telling me what I was going to be and what I should do.
Okay.
And I listened. I was a good kid. I followed the rules. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. Yeah. And it didn't necessarily, it was going a certain path and I pivoted my life. So, I wish I knew sooner that I was capable of making good choices and making my own decisions, free will.
Did you get that from your parents, family members, friends?
No, it came a little bit later in life, talking after college.
Okay.
Right? Just realizing that if I wanted something and I wanted something to happen, I could make it happen, right? I just needed to be honest with myself and really dedicate to it. So it's kind of the environment that taught me that.
Gotcha. Now, looking back, staying in childhood, right? Would you say your wins or your losses shaped you more into the person that you are today?
Definitely losses.
Okay.
Absolutely losses.
Why?
Because they sucked. It's like it's the things you don't forget. It's the embarrassments, the really just sitting in it and not feeling good about it.
Yeah.
These are the things that give me the fire to kind of come out and push and be really, really vigilant about achieving my goals.
Love it. Now, transitioning into Lakeborn Coffee, you started this company 3 years ago. So that's 2023.
23.
Like I said earlier, I lose track of dates, what fucking year it is, like everything. What was the early journey like, if you can?
Yeah, so we can go all the way back to when I was living in Denver. So I'd say it was maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. If anybody's familiar with Denver, I lived outside of Union Station, lower downtown, Lodo. It's the main downtown area. I was walking through Union Station. I had a cup of Starbucks. I didn't know anything about coffee at the time.
Yeah.
I just needed some caffeine. I had a Starbucks, and somebody came up to me and like pretty much knocked the cup out of my hand and like, "What are you doing, dude?" I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "There's 3 roasters right here, local small businesses. Why are you drinking Starbucks?" I was like, "I don't know what a roaster is." So I walked over, and got a new cup of coffee from Little Owl Coffee in Denver, and it changed my life. The quality of that cup of coffee, you could taste it compared to a Starbucks, compared to a Dunkin', compared to any of these commodity coffees that we drink so often. It's like you could feel the love, you could taste it.
Yeah.
And like when you're in the environment, you taste the cup, you taste the brew. So I experienced that and I was just a fan. I went from there to other cities, found the specialty cafes, tried to drink local always, moved back to Denville. Denville has, if you've been to Denville, Denville has amazing restaurants, cafes, spaces, but they were missing specialty coffee, right? Is there a small roaster? Is there a third wave coffee company here? I would ask my friends all the time, and the answer is no. I was driving from Denville to Madison to Sunday Motor Company to get a good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Right. So I decided that I just needed to take it upon myself and bring good coffee to Denville, and that's our mission.
Love it.
Our mission was to bring good coffee to our community, which immediately was Denville, and now it's expanded to Morris County and New Jersey. And we're thankful now that we're in California, in Utah, and New York, and Vermont, and Texas, and Florida, and our community is nationwide now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, staying on the early stages, right? What were your first early wins? Like you described, obviously going nationwide. That's like later on. Like that didn't happen early on, right?
Really, no.
Yeah.
So the early on wins, it was a slow start to the business, right? There's 2 of us, right? And neither of us have been in the coffee industry. So we spent the first year really researching R&D, learning about the industry in general. But we put together this brand, and one of the earliest wins we had was I put together some hats, right?
Okay.
And they were founders hats, right? They were just cool. We liked them. We wanted to wear them. And then somebody said, I need 20 of those to sell, right? And we're like, they're not for you, for us. So we did it. Fine. We're not making any money. Let's make money this way.
Yeah.
And then walk around Denville and I see people wearing the hats. I see people with the bags, things like that. So it's like, and it's still a win to me today. It's the first time somebody orders something from us or buys one of our products that we don't know. Our friends and family have been tremendous.
Yeah.
They all buy, they support, and that feels good. But it's the people who we've never met, when they purchase because they heard about us from a friend, that feels really good. Those are really early wins. So when we started to see those, that really energized us. And it's still energetic today.
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like the apparel took off before the coffee itself.
It did.
That's
exactly
crazy.
right. It's a little bit of a growth hack, right? And again, this was not intended. So we put, we did that. We're like, okay, so let's do some more, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And we did shirts and hoodies and stuff like that, and
That's crazy.
tons of
Yeah.
people bought it, and shops in Denville carry it, right? Shops in Lake Capacon carry our apparel, and I'd get introduced to people for, hey, this is Chris from Lakeborn, and they're like, wait, you do coffee too? It's like, yeah, it's actually our core product,
That's
right?
so funny.
So we've gone from a coffee company
Yeah.
to a lifestyle brand,
Okay.
kind of accidentally. And we're not sorry about it. So we're going to continue doing it. Our customers love it.
Keep riding that wave,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
So, early mistakes.
Yeah, it's actually a great segue, right? So we launched the brand with what I thought was a really cool logo design. The mistake in this was that I didn't have confidence in myself to design it, right? So I hired somebody,
Okay.
and it was good, right? It was worth it, but we later changed to this boat cleat logo that we see here, right? Fits the lake more. I designed it myself. I drew it myself.
Yeah.
It's very authentic, right? And the mistake is not trusting myself from the beginning to deliver that, right?
And then probably pouring all the money into somebody else to create a logo that you
Yeah.
didn't really fall in love with.
He's a small business designer, so I'm
Yeah.
happy we did. I was really happy with the work. It just
Didn't speak to the brand.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was the nautical signal flag L and B, and the colors happen to be the University of Maryland colors.
Okay.
So a lot of people are like, "Oh, are you from Maryland?" No, we're not.
That's so funny.
Things like that. And
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we look back, it feels a little bit amateur,
Yeah.
right? So I spent a long time designing this. It looks simple, but it took a long time to do the boat cleat logo, and we're actually going through a full rebrand right now doing it.
Love it.
I wish I just had the confidence from the beginning to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So early mistakes, little mistakes. Now, if you can give us a big mistake that may or may not have affected the business, you on a personal level.
Yeah, I'd say our first, biggest mistake, and it turned into a learning moment, was we intended to be a drop shipping business.
Okay.
Right? Order from our website and coffee gets sent. Easy, we'll just grow through Instagram. Everybody does that. Well, it turns out there's no magic algorithm button, and it doesn't just happen that way, right? You have to go out and meet people, and it turns out that people aren't just buying my coffee. They're buying from my partner and me. They want to support us, right? They want to hear the founder story, want to hear where we are. They want to taste it. They want to see our reactions when they taste it. So our biggest, I'd say, mistake there was just assuming that we were going to sell it, right? And that, we sat on that for about a year, right, before we started going alternative paths and how to do this. And when we realized, and this is the part where we started selling apparel. But once we got to, we were like, hey, people aren't going to our website. We decided, hey, we have to try some other avenues. We have to get in some cafes. We have to get into some farmers markets. We have to go do pop-ups. And, we're really thankful to be a part of the Denville community because, if anybody goes to Denville, follows any of the Instagram accounts, there's a collaboration everywhere. Two businesses doing something great, right? So we've been able to partner with tons of business to gain exposure and stuff like that. And now they've added tons of value to our brand, and we add tons of value to their brand, right? So we've looked outside of there, and all of this these are all the building blocks to getting followers, to getting people to our website, to being the drop shipping business that we set out to be.
So you almost like had to build a culture.
That's right.
Coffee culture.
That's right. Well, and that's exactly it. So one of my friends actually said it. I was in Joshua Tree with him, and he's like, "Congratulations on being a tastemaker." I was like, "Wow, I really never thought of that," because people in Denville and people all over New Jersey, like the drive-through lines at Dunkin' are around the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So people are prioritizing that convenience, and that's, it is what it is. So we're changing the way people taste coffee and experiencing it and slowing down their lives to enjoy and not just mainlining caffeine. Right. So we are creating a culture and, a wave of how people enjoy that.
I love how you said slowing down people's lives because like in Europe, my father's from Italy. You go to Europe, go to Italy, Spain, wherever. Everyone's sitting outside of a cafe, taking in the coffee, enjoying themselves. But here it's like Got to go through, the drive-through at Dunkin' or Starbucks, and I got to get to work.
Yeah,
But like you guys are like almost European in a sense where it's like, no,
that's right.
slow it down, take a sip of this coffee, enjoy it, enjoy yourself, enjoy your surroundings.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of thought went into all the different roasts and beans and everything that we do, the R&D hours, all of it. And in order to have it the best way possible, you really do need to slow down. And, what Lakeborn has become for me is a reminder of that. Hey, slow down.
Yeah.
Right. And we share that, and people do. A lot of people are like, hey, I drink this every single Saturday morning and every single Sunday morning. This is my ritual. This helps me reset and ground and then prepare for the next week. And that's awesome.
And it's born out of the lake.
That's right.
Talk to me about the actual product itself.
Yeah. We do not use lake water in our coffee. We get that a question a lot. We again back to the origin where I decided I needed to bring specialty coffee to Denville. I was standing on a dock, my friend's dock in Cedar Lake, and that's where I was like, I have to do this. So the idea was literally born on the lake, which is where we came up with the name. And the Dockside Blend, which is our signature blend, our crowd favorite, most popular. It's that dock that we were on when we were R&Ding. So we went back to that. A little bit more about the products themselves. We offer a variety of roasts, right? So our Dockside Blend is a medium roast from South America, Colombia and Brazil. It's a nice middle ground, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, what do I get? Well, this is for the people who don't know what they want, right? They know they just want a really good cup of coffee. It's smooth enough and chocolatey enough for the people who drink a dark roast or an espresso, but it's complex enough with fruity notes for people who drink light roast.
Interesting.
Dockside is the name. Obviously, we talked about that.
Yep.
Our next most popular is our Overboard. It's a single origin from Brazil, and it's a dark roast.
Okay.
Most cafes use that for espresso.
Boulder.
So it's bolder. It's got a more rich, chocolatey taste.
Okay.
Turns out that darker coffees are less caffeinated than lighter coffees. Right? People make that mistake. Just because it's stronger doesn't mean it's more caffeinated.
Interesting.
So we have a lot of folks who, that was our second coffee that we brought in. We have a lot of folks who really love that because, again, it's a traditional coffee taste, but it's a single origin bean from Brazil, really chocolatey, really smooth, and you can really brew it any style. Then our other roast is a single origin from Ethiopia, from the Yirgacheffe region. We call it the South Winds roast. It's a light roast. It's the most caffeinated that we have. And it's fruity and complex, peach, jasmine, and honey. People are a little nervous to try that, right?
Why?
Because it sounds intimidating. Light roast, complex flavor, peach, jasmine, honey. They think tea. They don't think coffee with that. But then I brew it for them and they try it and they're like, oh wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The people who drink the blonde roast at Starbucks, this is the closest to that.
Got it. So that's your product line, right? All of it?
Our primaries. We also do cold brew, and then we support some cafes with some single origins from Colombia, etc.
Love it. So you covered the biggest mistake, you covered the little mistakes, the little wins. What's been the biggest win for you guys over this 3-year trajectory?
One win that I don't know how big it is. It's big for us as founders. My partner was at a Yankees game, at Yankee Stadium, and the girl selling beer was wearing a Lakeborn hat. Oh, we've never met her. She's from New York, and she had the hat. He just Yankee Stadium, right? In the Bronx, and there's Lakeborn apparel out there. It's a big win for us personally. I'd say for the business, it's some of the major cafes that we support. Serving from specialty coffee consultants to figuring out how to keg our cold brew, to opening up with some people, right? Opening up their business. That's been a huge win and huge growth moment for us.
Love it. How did you get into this? Coming from a background where you worked at a job for how long?
So I'm in my current role still for 3 years, but I've been in this industry for over 10 years.
Okay. Where did that entrepreneurial spirit drive come from?
It was grounded in creativity, right? I didn't wake up wanting to be a coffee founder, a coffee business person. I woke up wanting to have good coffee, right? It was the necessity. right? And it just turned into a passion, and then we started to see wins. So when you start to see wins, you put more into it,
Of course.
right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
it turned us into real entrepreneurs doing it.
Have you guys ever felt like quitting?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's
Really?
yeah, for first couple of years, it's like, like I said, we're going through these phases where no sales, no sales for like, 6 months at a time. We'll sell maybe one bag a week,
Oh boy.
not
Yeah,
even,
yeah, yeah.
one bag every 2 weeks. That's tough, right? So it's like, what are we really doing here? Um, but it really, that was the real, that was me being a little stubborn. It's like, well, I'm not just going to lose here, right? Like we put so much time in, I can't crumple that up and throw it away. So it's,
Exactly.
how do we reinvent a little bit? How do we reapproach? How do we alter our strategy so that we can start selling?
Yeah.
And so that we can build a foundation of customers and of revenue to continue to iterate and do what we want to do, right? Most importantly, like we've absolutely wanted to quit, but we still have fun with it, right?
So what's the things that have powered you through not, that have made you forge ahead and not quit?
It's the people,
Just the
right?
people. Yeah.
It's the people, it's the community, right? So, I'll get texts from people who are like, "Hey, I just bought a bag for my mom. It was the first time she has ever had your coffee. Now she won't drink any other coffee." Right? Things like that. And it's not, you know, that's not funding the business for a year, one person buying a bag of coffee, but it really fills our cups, right? And like really warms our soul and motivates us to keep going, to know that this is a part of somebody's day and it's really become a part of their life.
I love it. And that falls into the whole lifestyle brand, what you guys are trying to achieve with this.
Yep.
What was your aha moment? I mean, you kind of mentioned it in being in Denver, tasting that sip of cup, that cup of coffee.
That's right.
But anything besides that?
The aha moment here was, I think, really just having that cup out in the wild, right? And seeing cafes serve our coffee by name and people just buying it, right? So it's like, okay, we have a concept here. This is real, right? This is not a mistake. This is not a coincidence. Like this is a real thing that people are spending money on and going out of their way to find. It's funny because to this day, we still have trouble getting people to our website. But again, we've altered. So we are at farmers markets. So we see people are coming, "Hey, I came from Pennsylvania to come to this farmers market to buy your coffee." And I'm like, wow, buy 3 then. Here's one on me. It's a long drive. So things like that are really, what motivate us. That's the aha moment to tell us that it's like, this is real.
This is working. Yeah. How do you define success today versus how you defined it early on in your childhood?
So it's interesting. It's kind of it's circular, right? So as a child, success was having a great time with my friends, going and playing hockey in the street or on the lake. And it's like, if we had a good day of that, we were successful. Like life was good. I've been in the corporate realm for over a decade, and where I thought success was a big title in a big room, success to me again now has come back to childhood. It's living well. It's balance. It's being able to do what I want to do, focus on what I want to focus on, taking care of myself, things like that.
Again, my mind is always going to like movies or TV shows. And when you said it's circular, I'm thinking of, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Rob Schneider.
Great movie.
It's like a circle. Your love is like a circle.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Oh my God, I'm fucked up. All right, so level 30 is the highest level you can get to, right? Let's pretend this is a video game. Your life, your career, your business, it's all packed into this video game. And you're trying to get to level 30. What level are you at currently?
It's a good question. I've definitely seen some nasty level bosses on the way that have had to overcome. I'd say I'm halfway there.
Okay.
At level 15.
Okay.
Right. I'm proud of myself for where I've gotten to. I'm proud of myself for the business that we have here and the way it's serving the community. But there's so much more to learn. There's so much to adjust, and there's so much more balance to achieve. I think I'm halfway there.
Okay. Speaking of learning, what's been the most valuable lesson you've extracted from this 3-year journey?
Releasing control. I'm very type A. I'm an Aries. I I need to be in control of
My
everything.
father's the same way.
Yeah, so you get it. And it's really hard to let somebody else do something when you know exactly how to do it and how you want it done. So it's taught me
That's
to
my fucking problem too. But I'm not even Aries. I'm a Pisces. But
well, you hang out with Aries,
that's
though,
one of my.
apparently. But it's like it's taught me a new skill that I'm still learning and developing of being a good teacher, right? So this is exactly how I want it, and if you're not doing it how I want it, it's not your fault, it's my fault because I didn't explain it well enough, right?
So being able to delegate.
Exactly, and being, talking to people on their level, right? I can give you instructions, but if I'm not telling you the way you need to hear it, it doesn't matter, right? So really coaching or teaching or really enabling somebody to do something and letting them know that I have faith in them, like, hey, you got this, no problem. That's been a really hard lesson for me to learn, and a big release.
Love it. So besides however long it's going to take you to get to level 30, what does level 30 look like for you? What does that level 30 of you look like?
Level 30 of me looks like being completely in control of my life as it relates to the businesses that I run, including Lakeborn, my personal life, my health, everything, right? So being able to still make productive contributions in a business sense while also taking time that I need without feeling guilty about it, right?
So balance almost.
Balance.
Yeah. Okay. You ready for the Forge 5?
Let's do the Forge 5.
5 questions that I ask every guest. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is a habit that you attribute most of your growth to? And I swear that wasn't a fart. It was the chair.
Habit I attribute most of my growth to discipline. And discipline's hard, right? Because if it was easy, it wouldn't be discipline at all. But personal life, professional life, all of it, just, iterative versions of it, of becoming more and more disciplined.
How do you exercise discipline?
Exercise discipline through consistency, right? So it's a mind game for me, right? So, I was listening to an Andrew Huberman podcast, and somebody was on there talking about when you start a new habit and you do something that you don't want to do, it's only uncomfortable for the first 5 minutes. So you get up in the morning, go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's only the first 5 minutes that you get up. Really sucks. Once you get to the gym, you're fine. After, you feel great, but it's the first 5 minutes of waking up early, right? It's first 5 minutes of going outside when it's cold and snowing.
Yeah.
Right? Then you're fine. So it's really kind of conditioning myself.
Putting yourself
yeah,
in an uncomfortable situation.
That's right. Like, get through these 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, get through this and you're in, right?
What is a failure that you're most grateful for?
We're gonna go back to the story about our first logo that we launched with. It was literally last week that I told somebody that story, and I said, "Hey, we're rebranding," and she said, "Good, because the Boakley logo is way better than the flags," and it felt really good because I designed that myself. Yeah. So having confidence in myself and knowing that if I want to do something, to just do it.
Okay. What is one truth you wish you learned sooner?
Everything is really hard. It's we all know that, but to really try to create something from nothing, it's tough.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody here experiences it, and this is where businesses fail because the road gets bumpy, and it's like, all right, not for me, but it's tough, and that's what keeps me going, right?
Yeah. Like, life is hard enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you throw your business on top of it and all the fucking little things that happen within the business. It's What would you tell someone, though, that is thinking about launching a business of their own, but like they're afraid to do that because of what we just described? Everything's fucking hard. Everything's frustrating. Everything's stressful. Like, what would you tell that person to get them through that mindset to just launch it?
You know, if somebody's really intent on doing that and they don't have a plan B, I would tell them to spend the extra minute on plan A. You really have to develop that and know how you're going to get to A to B.
Yeah.
Right. And just, really believe in themselves to do it.
Okay. So that was the one truth question, right? Right? Yeah. No. Okay. When things get overwhelming, what keeps you grounded? What keeps you sane?
Yeah, there's a few things, right? So the reason Lakeborn became a lifestyle brand is because of my lifestyle that comes out in the coffee. So when things are really moving fast, turbulent, etc., I will brew a cup of coffee, pour over, slow, deliberate, go outside and drink
On
it
the
by
dock.
drink it by the lake on the dock. Exactly. And nothing really exists at that point except for nature, right? So it really slows the whole place down. And it's 20 minutes, right? Where you brew it and
What
drink
happens
it.
if you don't live around a lake?
You can just go right outside, right? Mother Nature's everywhere. And you can go to our Instagram page. We have plenty of lake pictures there.
There you go. That's great. Last question. What does forged for greatness mean to you?
Yeah, I think every single human being is created to be great. Forged for greatness is realizing that you are going to do it. It's the determination. You can be great. So when somebody realizes that they have the fire inside of them and they have a vision now, right? It's really getting to that path and getting through it and knowing that you're going to take some lumps and black eyes and everything. You're forging yourself to get to that greatest point.
Yeah. Love it. Circling back before we end this particular episode, you mentioned something early on about maybe family or friends giving you the path, right?
Yep.
Putting the blueprint before you and saying, do this, go this way, go that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
How did you overcome that and how did you forge your own path?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, it was pretty immediate family that gave me guidance to go down a specific career path and, respect all career paths. But this was one that I just didn't, I felt like this is not me, right? I can do I can do bigger things than this. And I didn't want to be limited. And it took me through some strange paths, right? Rebellion and, all those kinds of things, like, trying things out of, shooting from the hip and failing, stuff like that. But it got to a point where I, got on the corporate ladder, right? Because it was the polar opposite of what was prescribed to me and directed to me, and manifested what I wanted to that way. And then I realized it doesn't just need to be limited to that, right? It can be really whatever I want. And that's where this business came from.
Love it. Any guardian angels? And I'll describe what I'm talking about in a second. Any guardian angels, any messages, any signs that you received to take this path?
Probably. The answer is probably.
Okay.
I'm really bad at being perceptive when the supernatural is trying to communicate with me because it happens a lot. Oddly enough, I have relatives, aunts and uncles who go to mediums, and people from my past who have passed away always communicate through them to me. Right. It's very strange. But I'm not perceptive in my own life.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
where
yeah.
there's probably signs, hey, the lights are flickering. Right.
Yeah.
But I really try to stay in tune with the universe itself, the energy in the properties, right? Where you put good energy out into the universe, right? And good energy comes back. If you
Yeah.
put bad energy out, guess what's going to happen, right? So I just try to put out the type of frequency and energy that I want to live in. And it's worked out pretty well. So that, a lot of people believe in a God, believe in, you know, whatever religion, but it's like, it's all the same principle. If you put good energy out and
You
you
get good
treat people the way you want to be treated, like, it ends well.
Okay. The reason I asked is because I was in the restaurant business forever, since my first job at 14 up until 8 years ago, when I decided to do what we do full time, which is video production, marketing, and all that stuff. But I was at the restaurant that I was working at previously, and I was by the cash register, and I was helping customers. This one lady came in, didn't order anything from the menu, didn't order any food. She grabbed a bottle of water in the the fridge, came over to pay for the bottle of water, and she said to me, "You look like you don't belong here."
Wow.
And I was just like, I don't even know if I said anything. I was just like,
Yeah, what do you say
in
to
my head,
that?
I'm like, what? She's like, "You look like you're destined for something better."
Mm.
And like, ever since that happened, like maybe a week after that, I stopped working at that restaurant and I decided to go full steam ahead with what I do now for a living.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like,
Congrats
that's
on
why
that.
I asked that. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, like
if
that.
there
That's
was
a
ever
pretty
like a moment like
deliberate.
that.
Yeah, it's like a really deliberate sign, right? Like you really
Yeah.
can't unhear that. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure those things have happened, but you know, part of my goal here is to be more in tuned when signs are speaking to me.
Yeah.
But that's a really good example.
What is next for you, for, the business, for you on a personal level?
Yeah, so we'll start with the business. With the business, we talked about meeting people at their level. Our customers have really shown us that they don't want a virtual experience. They want to come and buy from us in person, and that's awesome. So we're going to meet them at that level. We talked a little bit about the farmers markets that we've done. We're expanding, right? So we did the Boonton Farmers Market in Boonton for the first time this year. It was awesome. We grew the community there. We're now in 4 different farmers markets. We're in Boonton, Sparta, Franklin Lakes, and Madison.
Awesome.
So it's expanding our community, to those markets, meeting people there. And then we do have one really big, step that we're taking. We can't share it yet, but probably in the next like 2 to 3 weeks we can share it. It's in Denville. It's more so really solidifying our foundation there. And again, it's an in-person experience.
Love it.
We're listening to our customers and appreciate everything that they've done and really doubling down on them being part of their community.
Love it. Where can people find you?
People can find us on our website at lakeborncoffee.com or on social media, lakeborn.co. And if you DM us, it'll be me responding.
Awesome. Chris, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Chris Spadone.
That's it.
That's the Italian way to say it.
That's right.
The American is what? Spadone?
Spadone.
Spadone.
It's Italian for broad.
Sounds horrible. You gotta say, like, anything Italian, you gotta say it with an Italian accent. That's
you have
that's
to
where I'm
pronounce all the vowels.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's it.
Spadone.
Exactly.
Love it. Love it.
That's it.
Again, appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing your story, the business, personal stories. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Congrats
man.
on all the success.
Thank you, man. Once again, this was an awesome episode with Chris Spadone from Lakeborn Coffee in Denville, New Jersey. I hope you guys got some value out of this one. Once again, greatness isn't given, it is forged. I'll see you guys on the next episode.